there's one incident that occurred when I was in high school, which wasn't in high school, but it occurred. It was the only incident in which I felt like I was being personally discriminated against. And we, the drama club, members of the drama club, we had just finished working on perhaps The Sound of Music or something. And we were wrapping things up, and we thought we would go out and celebrate at one of these little places over on Whitesburg, a soda fountain place. I'd gone there many times before, with other blacks. And this time I happened to be there with only one black friend and 4 white friends, And there were 2 white women, 2 white fellas, and my black friend and I. And we were all friends, but this fella and I had grown up together since we were 3 years old. He lived on Townsend. Wayne Anthony Bowman, who lives in New York now. But so we were sitting there, the 6 of us in a booth, and the waitress comes up and takes a look at us and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't serve mixed groups." And one of the white women there actually was a student from New York, and she was shocked. This is like 1970, Huntsville, Alabama, even though it was 1970. She goes, "Excuse me?" She says, "No, we don't serve mixed groups." And she says, "What, you don't serve men and women?" and then the owner comes up and he takes a look at that and he goes, "Oh, there's too many people in the booth. You gotta go." And then he pointed to his sign that he can refuse to serve anyone. So we all leave and said, "Okay, this is the time to regroup, organize, and go back." I was feeling a little uneasy because this is something I'd never ever done before and never had to do and never had the desire to do, mainly because I always felt like the fallout would hit my parents, and what would they say if they heard about, me causing this kind of ruckus. So, but, I was with my peers, and so we decided, okay, since the real reason they kicked us out is because we were overcrowding, we decided we would go back that evening and sit 2 to a booth, black, white, black, white, black, white, and test the waters. So we did. And one black, it was black male, white female, white male, black female. I mean, we were really pushing the envelope there. And of course, the manager got upset. He called the police, and we're ushered out of the restaurant, and he draws an imaginary line across the sidewalk and said that's his property line. If you cross it, you're going to be arrested. So my friend John Howie, white fella, crosses it, and he's arrested, and he puts in jail. And we have our day in court. And so both sides, his girlfriend, who's the one who was really upset, was a hostile witness. And because she kept saying, "I'm sorry, what did you say? What does that mean? Please explain your question." But afterwards, the judge brings both parties up, the owner of the restaurant and my friend John, and he says, "I'm going to throw this whole thing out." He said, "For 1 minute, I believe," and he says to the owner, "that you refuse to serve them because of the color of their skin. I would throw the book at you." But and he says, "And if for 1 minute, I believe that if you try to antagonize this fellow purposely to bring out his color," so he said, "I would throw the book at you." He said, "So therefore, I'm throwing out the whole case." And I thought, wow, what a I felt like, again, the whole Killing Mockingbird, had reached a much better solution, and then up further reading, federal judges, the Atticus Finch type lawyer were the lawyers that became federal judges during the civil rights movement that allowed the passage of all of these, anti-Jim Crow